ようこそどうぞはじめまして
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GLORIO Chat, the best anime podcast on the internet.
The more we keep saying it, the less true it becomes.
It's
the
all
GLORIO
it's all
Network is the best anime podcast network on the
it's
internet.
it's all marketing. It's all marketing, But we can I also claim that we are the oldest podcast because we are about to hit the 1 year anniversary of the current podcast revival. So I'm going to just officially say we're the oldest podcast.
Accurate if you forget about every other anime podcast.
Oh, I don't know, man. Think about like the average lifespan of most podcasts, man. Most of that shit doesn't even make it past like.
I think 6 episodes. Is
Yeah,
like the cutoff
we're like kind of like what? This is like episode 50 or some shit. Like.
Yeah.
URL says 29.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Okay, well, since it's bi-weekly, it's not 52 weeks or whatever, but anyways. So we are back after last episode. We did our winter 2019 season preview, and now we are back to tell you that we were right about everything. both good and bad, perhaps. If anything, I would say the kind of overall feel I got from this season is not a lot of surprises, if any. Really, we kind of
I think we have a couple of surprises, but nothing like really groundbreaking.
I don't think season, yeah.
I don't think we were too far off with anything. I think generally the shows we thought were going to be good were good to varying degrees, and the shows we thought were bad to varying degrees. But even so, there's quite a bit to talk about, so let's get into it. Just to introduce who we have on the podcast this week, I'm Gel. We have Iro.
Hi, I'm back.
Iro is back from the dead, as you may have heard in the last episode of Legend of the GLORIO Heroes. And we also have G.
Yo.
And we have Aqua.
See, I also died, but I don't see anyone celebrating my return.
Well, we come back.
You weren't scheduled to be on the next episode and then had to cancel last minute because you literally couldn't talk. So,
also, you don't have highly specific knowledge of PS2 era adaptations of Osamu Tezuka manga.
No, but he's seen the He's seen the live action movie.
I've seen the live action movie. I have very specific knowledge of cheesy mid 2000s live action adaptations of Osamu Tezuka manga. And that's just as valid as Iro's knowledge.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Does it say blood will tell?
Well, we'll get there.
we'll talk about Dororo later, but so like I said, we are going to kind of be giving now our first impressions of the winter season. We're going to talk about the shows, both good and bad, that we ended up watching, and kind of give our thoughts on that. But there is one thing I wanted to talk about before we got started on the anime. Well, this is still technically an anime-related topic, but anyways, the annual this is the second annual Crunchyroll Awards kind of came and went. Voting opened and closed since our last episode, and I don't really care about most of the categories. And if you want kind of our takes on those, you can probably just read our year-end coverage. But I did want to mention the most important, clearly, and the most competitive category, which is the best girl category. And I have to say, the competition was pretty brutal because we had. I'll run through the nominees real quick here, and then we can kind of all debate our choices here. But we had Anzu from Hinamatsuri, the dear precious angel who has never done anything wrong. We have
Is Anzu the one who learns kung fu and beats up people in the first episode?
No, she's like the disgustingly pure angelic figure who fucking makes goddamn flowers sprout wherever she steps and fucking purifies the hearts of any she encounters.
So Amaterasu.
Might as well.
Might as well be, yeah. Then we also have Hinata from A Place Further Than the Universe, which, if you all recall, last year when they did the first anime awards and they announced Best Girl was a category, I immediately said Hinata for Best Girl 2018, but that was still pretty early in the year. Even so, she's a worthy contender. Then we have Lily Hoshikawa from Zombieland Saga, who
some people are gonna be mad about that one.
Well, they shouldn't be, but yes. And you know what? I respect her inclusion on this list and would not fault anybody for voting for her. Then
even if the anime she comes from is not that great.
Yes. And then we have Asurpa from Golden Kamui.
Yeah, dog, here we go.
Who I don't watch the show or read the manga, and even I know she's great. So
Asurpa will hunt for you, she'll beat up seals for you, she'll make you poke sticks at poop, she will get drunk with you.
And she's also 13 years old, G.
I didn't Are you implying that any of these girls are
yes, yes, clubbing seals is adorable. But anyways, then we have so this is the I think the most controversial one. We have the main girl from Laid Back Camp, who is the worst character in the show, and I don't know why she's on this list when there's like 3 other people from that show that could have been on here. But nevertheless, I understand why they would want to include Laid Back Camp here. And then finally, we have Mai from Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, who is literally Senjo Gahara.
She's the eponymous Bunny Girl Senpai.
Yes, she is. She's the eponymous Bunny Girl Senpai. And she's literally Senjo Gahara from the Monogatari series.
Okay, what if she sat in a chair with handcuffs and poured water over you?
Look, if this were look, all I'm going to say, if this were me in 2010, I would be more excited about her appearance on this list. But I don't think I understand why she made the cut, but I don't think she's an actual contender for the category. So, anyways, a lot of good choices here. I think if holding a gun to my head, I'd have to go with Anzu, even though it's really tough call between her and Hinata for me. I think
I can respect that.
I think G, you've already made your intentions clear, but I know you can.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Anzu is fantastic. Truly a perfect angel. I will literally fight anybody who has a bad word to say about Anzu. But Asurpa will fuck shit up. Like when the cards are down, like Asurpa's first fucking instinct is to fucking unsheath that knife she's got, behind her, or like draw her bow, or pick up poop for some reason. I don't know what her fascination with poop is, but she'll 13. Do it. Yes, she's 13. 13-year-olds universally, they love poop. It's bizarre, but
it's hilarious.
I'm just saying, out of all these girls, Asurpa's got your back.
Okay, so G, does the fact that we are judging this by the anime adaptation have any bearing on your decision?
No, fuck no. We're totally ignoring the anime. The anime doesn't even count. The anime just exists to fucking basically shoehorn Asurpa into this category because I don't know. The anime basically does nothing for her. They don't even get her faces right. Like, for God's sake, for God's sake, like if this were best reaction faces category of 2018, manga version of Asurpa sweeps this entire category. It's not even close. It's a slaughter. There are no survivors.
I think actually good reaction faces is an important criteria in judging best girl to begin with. So, that is kind of, I think, a handicap if we're only judging by the anime.
Damn the anime.
I don't know. It pains me because I love Hinata, and as I said, I was campaigning for her from day one last January.
I mean, does she win best T-shirts of 2018?
Maybe. No, Ash Ketchum does.
Oh
No,
shit!
no.
Not even that category, huh?
No, actually, gee, you remember Hina's shirts in Hina Matsuri that literally just changed to show what her emotions were?
Oh man, yeah, you're right. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Best shirts category is competitive in 2018.
Yeah, maybe that should have been a category because that's pretty. Those are some tough calls there. You have like Surfing Pikachu versus Hina's Bye Bye shirt, and and Hinata's food t-shirts. So yeah, those are some tough calls. But yeah, I don't know. It's we'll have to see. I don't know, Iroh and Aqua. Do you have any?
I usually don't swoop to the level of best girl discussions. I'm just saying
you're clearly above all of this.
I'm just saying Nanami Senpai not being on this list is homophobia.
You're just gonna drop that hammer on. Well, we have Lily, who is transgender, so we have some LGBT representation.
True, but she is still being framed as a object of desire for straight men.
That happening in an idol anime. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Ira, what do you think?
Make a claim.
Don't put me on the spot like this.
Sorry, you agreed to be on this podcast.
I probably got to go with Hinata. She told her friends to fuck off.
Yes,
that was pretty good.
I was.
She constantly drops wisdom in every episode.
Yeah, she's such a good character. Like all. I mean, not to rehash our best anime of whatever discussion on that show. Lost her passport
in Singapore and kept cool.
Yeah,
the whole episode.
All the main girls in that show are just like so well fleshed out. Like, and she's like the best one. But yeah, it's a tough call. So anyway, we'll see how that goes with that category and the rest of the categories when they announce the actual winners, which they're waiting all the way until February 16th. And I just have to say,
last year's Crunchyroll anime live stream award thing was a total shit show.
Yes,
that doesn't surprise me.
That aside, that is way too late to be
talking about
2018 best of discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were coming in kind of close to the close to the bar there ourselves. But,
past January 1 is late. I think anything past January, like nobody's even gonna care at all.
Nobody fucking gives a shit anymore.
Yeah, we've moved on.
Like there will be new memes already by February. Like the old girls will basically not matter anymore because we'll have new girls on over.
Everyone's about that neck lifting Sasuke.
Yeah,
exactly.
that is an awful meme. I hate
it. By February, that meme will be obsolete. Hell, by next week, that meme will be obsolete.
It was obsolete after like the second image that got made off of it. It's a terrible meme. Anyways,
it's time for me to boot up Kaguya books again and find a screenshot.
Yeah, get that hot meme money.
Anyways, let's move on from that then and get to our actual original topic now that we're already 15 minutes into the episode.
I'm sure this podcast will be a quick one.
We're already 15 minutes and 2 G rants into this podcast.
Maybe 2 G rants. Wait, were there 2 separate rants? I think I had like maybe one. Like, does the Acerba one count? I guess that's one. Where's the other?
Yeah. Well, we still have plenty of time here, so
show me the receipts.
All right, so let's talk about. So I broke this up into. I wanted to talk about the couple shows that were returning that we can confirm are still good. Probably don't need to say a whole lot about them. Then I want to talk about a couple bad shows, and then we'll talk about the stuff that we're at least for now, continuing to watch. So, starting with the stuff that was returning and we can confirm is still good, we have Mob Psycho 100.
Hell yeah.
I actually did not get a chance to watch the new episodes yet, but you guys seem to be pretty positive on it.
It is more of Bones just like being crazy animators and throwing out all the visual flair that they got.
Yeah, it is very much this is very much like the kind of like, I don't know, technical exhibition match for Bones, basically. You know, they're just
showing off.
They're just basically using Mob Psycho just show off, like, you know, they're just flexing on every other anime studio out there, just blowing everybody out of the water, just being like, look at the fucking wild goddamn shit we can do when we like put our entire resources to it.
And like plot wise and stuff, it's still fun, the same type of thing. Although now because it's airing in earnest again, we're starting to get the like think pieces about why Mob Psycho is the best anime ever made or whatever.
Are we really getting those already?
Oh yes.
Oh man. I mean, okay, here's the thing, right? Mob Psycho 100 it's still fantastic, you know, but also I think maybe we can all agree, even those of us who really love the show, that there isn't a ton to really say about it, honestly. Like,
yeah,
the production values are phenomenal. I'm sorry, Jill, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to make this sound like bad, but there is sort of a cap on how good it can actually be just with its premise and everything. Like, there's only... It's not like all-time great type of material, even if it's very good. But...
I mean... I definitely think it depends on what you're coming to it for. Like, I generally do agree. I do think that Mob does have a little bit more substance to it than it sometimes lets on. I think, at least I think it has more substance than, you know, its counterpart, One Punch Man, for the most part.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, for better or worse, right? Like, I mean, it's unfair to just be like, oh, it's just doing what season 1 was doing, but it is kind of the case. But I think that's still worth, you know, it's still worth praising. You know, it would be very easy to, or not very easy, but, you know, with the thing with sequels, right, with things with like follow-up seasons, it's always very easy to potentially, you know, fuck that up, to stumble.
The novelty is gone,
right? But I think they're still bringing it, and I think they're still bringing it pretty strong.
Yeah. All right, so I will have to catch up on that for sure. Now that our first look season is over. I should have more time to loop back around to that. So the other show that was returning that I wanted to talk about was the return of Kakegurui, which I still cannot confirm how to pronounce the 2 X's. I'm still going to pretend that it's supposed to be pronounced double cross.
Hell yeah.
Sure. It's not a very anime type of...
Guilty Gear naming conventions.
Yeah.
All up in here.
So, you know, that also... leapt right back in where they left off with delivering the type of quality trash that I love. They jumped right back in with a game. They basically played chicken with a device that has like a mini guillotine that will cut your finger off, and whoever pulls their finger out first loses. Which produced my...
Jill, I really liked when you were describing it in the chat as that this season of Kakegurui is basically like a fucking gambling torture tournament arc.
Well, yeah, the torture thing was just the one particular battle, which I was telling you guys my favorite moment of the episode was they're setting this thing up and they're like, where did you even get this thing? And the girl that brought it is like, oh, my family does torture. That's just our family business. And like, oh, okay. And nobody questions that any further.
Right, there's a school for the rich and powerful, so, you know, whatever, that tracks.
Got to be somebody has to do it, right? But
exactly.
So they dumped like 12 new characters into the first episode, like this crazy family of gamblers or something, and they're basically starting up a tournament arc to see who will be the new student council president. And they vote with their gambling chips or whatever. I was going to say poker chips, but they never actually play poker. So
Poker's too vanilla for these people.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this is Kakegurui. They'd probably play like strip poker, but all the cards are on fire.
Well, that's still much closer to traditional gambling than some of the other stuff they pull out.
Nah, you had to introduce some crazy element like fucking, I don't know, strip Russian roulette poker or something.
They have not done. They've done Russian roulette, but they have not done any stripping games so far. So
surprising.
I mean, all the games in Kakegurui are stripping games.
well, no, there's no stripping, but let's just say the characters really, really enjoy gambling. Let's just.
Are we talking? Do they enjoy gambling in the same way that the people in like? Oh man, I lost this bit because I already forgot the name of that stupid manga.
Kaiji.
No. What's the one where they eat the food and they get horny?
Food Wars.
Yeah. I was like, do they get excited for gambling in the same way the Food Wars people get excited to eat?
Yes, arguably more so. Anyway, so that show is still trash in the best way possible, and still can't actually watch it because it's on. Well, actually, Netflix hasn't even announced international plans. I think it's airing on Netflix in Japan, but anyways.
Of course.
Thanks,
Netflix. Got to just include that. All right. So moving along, couple of bad shows I wanted to mention. There obviously are more than 2 bad shows, but these were the ones that I picked out as the actively harmful ones. Please do not watch. Public service announcement. First one is WATATEN, An Angel Flew Down to Me, which is the latest in the trend of adult female pedophile shows. 2 in a row.
By Dogakobo.
2 in a row for Dogakobo.
It's their new thing, man.
After they did the
one more and they can go for a hat trick.
Yeah. after they did the Uzumaid show last season, this one is even more boring because there's literally no plot other than the adult main character's little sister brings home her friend and she immediately falls in love with her and like acts like a weird pervert stalker around her.
As opposed to a regular pervert stalker who is
the normal pervert stalker. Your friendly neighborhood pervert stalker.
Yes. It's again such a waste because it's one of the best looking shows of the season. Like the people at Dogakobo are so talented and they just get wasted on garbage like this. And like I said in my post about it, like I keep calling for them to make Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun season 2, and they no longer deserve it. Give that show to
they have lost the right.
Give that show to Feel, who did Hinamatsuri.
I beg your pardon. Need I remind you of Feel's track record? They are responsible for some of the vilest shit in anime history.
Well, they've been good recently,
though. I have a short memory, so I just remember Hinamatsuri.
Yeah, they've been good recently. I'm trying to remember the other like-minded comedy show that there was a couple of them. I think did they do the art club show? I think something like that. And then the only thing I remember is that they also did was it? Yeah, I think Tsukigaki-rei. That was them.
Moon something or I don't know.
No, it was like the low-key romance show that turned into
was that
garbage.
Or Pine Jam? Or I'm getting that confused.
No, Pine Jam was just because that other low-key romance show.
Romance.
My dudes, if it's not Bones, Mappa, or Trigger, like I cannot for the life of me remember what studio has been doing what.
Well,
so
the Tsukigaki
who says if it really matters at all?
Like that show was bad, but I wouldn't say it was like I don't know.
I mean, that show was good up until the end.
Yes, it was actually good until the last couple episodes, sure. So, anyway, that show is bad. There's really not much more to say about that. And just alerting everyone that the trend continues with this adult female pedophile thing. And
Joe, is Dogakobo okay?
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna go with no.
If
has somebody checked in on them recently? Like has somebody like actually looked inside the studio? Are we sure that like they're not like being held hostage? That like not just some like weird fucking otaku with highly specific interests have just rounded them up in the studio and just like held them at gunpoint and be like, "You will animate this female pedophile show."
Two female pedophile shows in a row.
2 female pedophile shows.
Well, what
season you'll do a third.
Next, they're doing that like weightlifting thing, right?
Do you even lift, bro?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's all right. Never mind. They're forgiven. That's funny. All right. Look,
we'll save that discussion for next season.
We'll save this discussion for next season when I will finally get my chance to go on a tangent about Kenga and Azura, aka like low key my latest favorite battle manga. But we can save that for next season.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It must be paying the bills because I don't know. Like I said, that's. I mean, I'm not joking. That's one of the best looking shows of the season. The animation is so good, and they're so talented,
man,
over there. And it's such a waste that they do these garbage shows that like.
Joe, you gotta fucking watch Mob Psycho or something. You gotta cleanse yourself.
Yeah.
Like you cannot be walking around in a season like this, walking in these streets, saying things out loud like WATATEN is the best looking show this season. You know, that's like playing Biggie with the windows rolled down in LA. Like it's a dangerous move. You're endangering yourself.
I put the qualifier on one of. I did not say the best, but it is definitely one of the best looking shows. Anyway, let's move far away from that one onto something far worse.
Boy, what a great section of the podcast.
So, see, this time I'm getting smarter. I'm getting these out of the way first so that we don't end on these things this time.
That's probably a good idea.
So, the Rising of the Shield Hero, we all knew it was going to be bad. It ended up being far worse than I expected. And
it will get even worse.
Yeah.
Can we just say fuck this show and move on? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
I've been debating how much
I haven't even watched it, but just every goddamn thing I've read about this show just sounds like the most just like Isekai can get bad sometimes. I think we all know that. Like, Isekai can indulge in some of the worst kind of fucking shitty like otaku power fantasy garbage, but like fucking The Rising of Shield Hero, like it's like 5 years ago, if you showed me The Rising of Shield Hero, I would have thought this was a parody. Like no, you couldn't do something this bad. Like come on, that's ridiculous. That's absurd.
Yeah. I was debating how much I wanted to actually talk about on the podcast because we wrote, I think, probably more eloquently than we would be able to say on here, kind of our thoughts on it. But I do want to just give the quick lowlights. Just so that everybody understands what the issue is. We talked about, everybody knew going into it that kind of the central plot point was that the main character's experience in the other world is shaped by this false sexual assault accusation, which, all the bad things that implies are 100% true. Centered around that event and, drawing parallels to kind of the paranoia that people use as an excuse to, downplay, women coming out and speaking out about, their own experiences and all that. Again, read the post, that portion Collins wrote about, and with a lot of good context on that. The other thing on the even broader picture that a lot of people have discussed, and I kind of wrote about that part on the post, is it's basically incel propaganda. And
hooray!
Because we really need more of that.
Yeah, I mean, he gets accused by this woman who was formerly being nice to him, and he's the nice guy, and all the other guys are these jerks, but they're super popular, and everyone ignores him, and it's just like disgusting to the point where I brought this question up in the post, and I did kind of want to mention this is like, and I don't know if we can. I don't know if there's really an answer for this right now, but like, at what point should Crunchyroll or whoever be like screening these things and like not licensing them? I don't know if.
I mean, it's a huge success for them.
Well, because that's the thing, right? If they don't, somebody else will. Funimation will, or High Dive will, or Netflix, or fucking whoever. Like,
as a further like aggravating factor, this is actually the first show Crunchyroll themselves handpicked and selected for adaptation. So they were heavily involved in the adaptation process.
Really?
Yes.
They know where their bread is buttered.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing, right? We all seen that fucking horrible map I try not to think about the winter or fall 2018 season, you know, of what every state in this country is watching. Like, yeah, they know what brings in the money. And
Crunchyroll has
just
a
to clarify,
long history
just to clarify on G's point, if anybody doesn't know, basically Goblin Slayer was Crunchyroll's most popular show last season. Across the board. Everywhere.
And so the thing is, Crunchyroll has a long-lasting history of bad PR considering this kind of stuff. Like making
a big banner ad that was like, "Come see the most shocking isekai yet."
Yeah, and like making a lot of Twitter posts in bad taste, like showing sexy fan service, which is actually like a sexual assault scene or something like that. And this is just like the climax of a long series of gaffes. And
yeah,
it feels like the logical conclusion of a lot of just, I don't know, really questionable trends we've seen in anime in the past few years.
Because it's interesting to compare this to Dogakobo, right? You can say, oh, Dogakobo, oh, bad now. They're like guilty of making these shitty, harmful shows. Where on the other hand, you could also say that they are an animation studio in Japan and they should be glad with every single license they get. And they just do what they do to keep bread on the table.
I mean, yeah, totally. Like, I mean, as a creative person, I definitely will never hold it against a studio for look, you got to do what you got to do to put money on the table, right? Whether that's making gacha games or making bad anime, like,
yeah,
you know, you do what you can because hey, it is a tough industry, and as I think any of us here who's read about the anime industry knows, like, that shit is kind of a meat grinder.
Yeah,
by which I'm underpaid to produce this garbage.
Yeah,
I think.
By which I'm not defending Crunchyroll, because I think Crunchyroll, as the main purveyor of anime, I mean, of Japanese entertainment, even they should know
better.
They could be taking, or they should be taking advantage of their position to have a kind of educational, like, purpose to actually like show people what anime can be, what is the best, and not highlight the worst.
But the worst makes them so much more money.
I mean, I guess it's a weird thing because I guess it kind of sends me mixed messages about the company, because Crunchyroll is also the one that's greenlighting that original like show they're doing, right? I totally forget the name, but like,
so they're doing that.
So they're doing that, but then they're also bringing stuff over, like, and I guess then that leads to like the weird ethical dilemma of like, is making deals with Goblin Slayer and Shield Hero, is that what allows them to do those kind of bespoke passion projects, so to speak?
Yeah,
the thing is also, is Goblin Slayer the most popular anime, on Crunchyroll because most people like it, or is it because it was the one that was most heavily pushed by Crunchyroll simply because it has the most direct appeal of being a more or less Western-inspired fantasy show with a video game-like aesthetic?
I mean, shit, if that was the case, I feel like Rage of Bahamut would have done a lot better. So,
Rage of Bahamut was not on Crunchyroll, so we can't compare.
Oh, was it not? Man, I totally forget.
That's true.
Yeah, no, it wasn't actually.
Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah, they said there's no such thing as bad publicity, right?
Yeah. Well,
all right. I mean, fucking.
You know,
do we really want to give
this
show any more time that it deserves?
Yeah, like I said, that's a tough question for a lot of reasons, because then, like, you know, how do you judge what shows you would, you know? I understand, you know, people got to eat or whatever, but even so, like, if I put myself in the position of the person licensing shows for Crunchyroll or the person who is charged with promoting shows for Crunchyroll, I would have a hard time like
Yeah.
promoting something like that, like in good conscience, personally. But everybody has their own conscience.
Even
on
when
that.
because there are shows with similar appeal, like Dororo, for instance, that you could decide to put your weight behind instead.
I think that's not even true, because like the kind of shows that have been blowing up, it's not just that they are like well produced action spectacles. It's that they kind of trade in a more kind of insidious type of power fantasy.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely their appeal. Don't get me
there's
wrong.
the waifus and the power fantasy aspect of it. The aspects of it that allow you to, for better or worse, I guess, as they say, self-insert into it.
That is why the video game mechanics are so like prevalent in that genre. Is because the people who these shows are for do not have another frame of reference than video games, and the thing is, that is like
it's not an inherently bad concept, but like,
I'm not even trying to spin it in that direction. I'm just more like saying that this is an entry ticket into enjoying fiction, but it is not like it is. That might sound a bit elitist, but it's sort of like it's like the one at the half step on the like ladder. This is like the training wheels.
It's an element. It's an element. Like
the training wheels that are supposed to ease you into enjoying the genre.
I mean, I think there's definitely something to be said. I think we've mentioned it a few times on this podcast that there's probably something to be said about the fact that, like, Japanese fantasy, whereas Western fantasy tends to find its roots in like a mixture of like Tolkien and real world mythology and Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons is just Tolkien.
Well, you know what I mean. Though,
what you're talking about? They're halflings, not hobbits.
Also, like fucking Tolkien fans will fucking like skin you alive for saying that, Eero. So good going there. But
yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of.
I guess what I mean more is like.
We'll get a lot of listeners complaining about that, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I think it's more that whereas in Japan, like Japan's context for fantasy, like it draws on, like you said, video games.
Dragon Quest. Yeah. It's Dragon Quest.
We just watched fucking Endro, right? Which is just Dragon Quest.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
I just want to say one more thing about the show, because it is a continuously worrying trend, and that is the depiction of slavery in the Rising of the Shield.
Man, I don't even want to get into this part.
I was just going to mention that.
Bad.
I was just going to mention that we didn't even have time to get to the slavery because there's so much other bad stuff.
This is definitely a part of the incel.
No, totally, it's awful.
That is because incels are all about those women should know their place and be devoted to me. And happiness and slavery, that's what the show is all about.
But don't you see, Aqua? They're a good master. They would never treat their slaves poorly. That's what makes them a hero.
Dude, the slave girl literally gets freed, and then she says, "No, I want to be master's slave instead." And she
man. Truly a perfect woman, huh?
Look, I could just...
Yeah. I mean,
this thing is beautiful. This thing is a fucking case study. Cops in the future will have to watch The Rising of the Shield Hero to understand the incel mindset.
Oh, god damn it.
We should move on.
The villain girl gets, like, when she's caught, she gets legally renamed to bitch and is sold off to, like, the rapist king, who is known for having raped 9,999 women, and she will become the 10,000th. And then it's described how the main character gets to watch.
We have to move on. We cannot.
Is that real?
Yes!
Oh my god.
We cannot keep talking about this anime.
Yeah, it's real bad. Go read the post.
Holy shit.
All right. So now that we've gotten that off our chest, let's talk about shows that we're still watching. for better or worse.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean worse? Worse than Shield Hero? Come on, you're being unfair now.
I mean, better or worse for our well-being, I suppose, that we're continuing to watch them.
Yes.
Sure. No, there's nothing here worse than Shield Hero for sure. So let's start with The Price of Smiles, which had already started. Which had already started at last episode, so we got a little bit of a hot take on that. But
yes,
G and Nero, I'm going to turn it over to you.
One question. Has the Prince of Smiles himself shown up yet?
No, there's no proof.
We're waiting on that. Developments are concurrent as we speak.
The Prince of Smiles is my idol stage name.
I mean, the show is The Price of Smiles.
So should we just start talking about this show?
So this show reminds me of Princess Principal from a couple years ago.
Them's fighting words.
No, in a very specific way. Is that how in the sort of way that similarly to Princess Principal, like stuff like the character design and some of the writing is very like boilerplate, like modern anime looking. Like the princess has twin tails and she's 12 and she's basically an idol, etc. And like this military squad of the Empire has like the like cutesy girl who says her own name and the like pretty boy, etc. But then the actual content of the show is somewhat more serious than the aesthetic would lead you to believe.
Yeah, that's a very good way to describe it. Like, sorry, go ahead, Aqua.
Now you're describing the main appeal of Princess Principal to me, so I'm interested.
I mean, as Iro can attest to my feverish ranting about this show, I'm not sure what to take from this show because, as you say, everything about its presentation and framework is like the opposite of my brand of bullshit. But then, like you have political intrigue and like a weirdly morally gray take on politics and warfare that like pays lip service to squad tactics and strategy and like the nature of how logistics plays into warfare. Like that girl that Iro mentioned that like she's like this cutesy little petite girl who like says her name in third person.
Like, she's also introduced. She's introduced lifting dumbbells.
Yeah,
and
like
also
she's fucking
judo throws a man and shoots him in the head.
Right, she fucking pulls some John Wick shit where like some like fucking like dude like tries to fucking grapple her. She tosses him to the ground, puts him into a chokehold, takes her pistol, puts it to his head point blank, and blows his fucking brains out. Like
right, but then 5 minutes later, she's like, "Oh, Lily doesn't know what to do about this."
Yeah,
like,
and then she's fucking like, it's like. It's like I don't want to say it's incongruous. Like no, it's kind of fantastic. Like I'm not gonna look again. I know what I said the last time we talked about this. I don't make this comparison lightly.
I'm still holding you to this, G.
There is something to be said about it's like dueling protagonist like narrative structure where it's like examining both sides of this conflict in a way that is not dissimilar to a certain 1988 science fiction OVA. Now, I am not saying this show has anywhere near the nuance or the execution or even the ambition, but it's trying far more than a show of its like stature and general framework you would ever expect it to.
I mean, to call back more directly to like the previous podcasters was mentioned, we talked about like boring protagonist man who talks about like love and peace and willpower and guts or whatever, and he just like dies in the second episode.
Yeah, he just fucking dies in the second episode, and not even in a heroic way. It's not like, oh, dude, like, holds the fucking pass, 300 style against, like, 1,000 mooks. No,
he just gets, like, shot, and shrapnel gets him in the gut, and
then he, like, fucking
slowly bleeds out.
Yeah, he fucking, like, bleeds out and dies of sepsis, like, 5 days later.
And they
Like-
bring his, but then like you get goofy anime shit. Like they bring his corpse to the princess, and she does the like grasps her face and screams at the camera.
Yeah, it's like it's so like overwrought in some ways, but also like I'm not sure I'm really ready to call it good, but it's
I'm entertained.
yes, it is deeply fascinating what they're trying to do with this show.
So what
Like-
you're telling me is that Satellite has produced a Sunrise original anime mecha.
This is
Mega
Tatsunoko.
anime. Is it
First of all, it's
Tatsunoko?
Tatsunoko.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
like that's
my
what
God.
I'm still,
This is
we're
their
still waiting for it to reveal itself to be like, you know, the long lost remake of some obscure Tatsunoko property.
yeah, because this is their
like in the fucking 8th episode, you know, we find out it's fucking a remake of like Tekkamon Blade or some shit.
yeah, because this is their 55th anniversary
Right,
project.
right.
Yeah,
What
But it's
what
just,
is
like, so
Satellite
weird.
doing then?
Girly Air
Uh,
Force.
I don't know. Are they still doing Jushinki
Oh,
Pandora?
okay.
Girly
Yeah.
Air
Really-
Force? Yeah, we'll get to that
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, this is just a show where like the opening has these two girls like idol singing at the camera and twirling around, and then Stella pulls out a gun and says, "You kids come with me. Every time you refuse, I will shoot one of you."
right, yes, like that's again like it's the weird thing where like you know everything around its promotion. And again, I'm not gonna say like oh they're going for like some sort of like you know Madoka-esque like you know.
But no, that's not what they're
It's
doing.
It's definitely not doing that. But it's like everything about the show's presentation. Like the opening is like the princess from the kingdom and the main like ace pilot from the empire like holding hands and like singing an idol song and dancing and like a lot of like egregious Yuri baiting. And then like in the show itself, like the princess has just watched like her childhood friend like get murdered in battle in like the most fucking like ungraceful like inelegant way, like again not in the field of battle, not dying in the flames of honor, just fucking bleeding out on a hospital bed. And then like the other girl like is like she's not right in the head, something is wrong with her. And we don't know what yet, but like when she's just fucking saying shit like you know, who cares about civilian casualties? They're all dead anyways. Like,
Uh,
Man.
I don't.
it's so goofy.
Yes. Like,
It's just so incongruous, but
yes.
in a
I don't.
fun way.
Yes, for sure. I just don't know what to make of it.
Is
But yeah, it's
I'm not gonna
interesting at least.
I'm not gonna make you guys say the show is good, but is it the biggest surprise of the season?
So far, maybe.
Probably, yeah. Like, definitely not the
We'll
best
get to,
show.
we'll get
this
to
season,
Kotobuki later, but
that's a surprise for a different reason. But,
sure.
All right.
But yes, I'd say
I mean,
Price of Smiles is definitely the show that threw us off guard the most.
it sounded kind of great the way you guys were explaining it, but
I kind of want other people to watch it. And again, I'd say don't go into it expecting to take it too seriously, but if you just kind of watch it for like the truly bizarre, I'm not ready to call it a train wreck yet, but like just it's operating on a level that you don't see in a lot of anime these days.
one last
For both better and worse.
one last quick question. So, like, is there a path for this show to actually be legitimately good by the end?
Maybe.
So we keep joking about how every time something horrible in this anime happens, me and Ira are like, well, that's the price of smiles. Like firebombing civilians, that's the price of smiles. Threatening children at gunpoint, that's the price of smiles.
Destroying the food supply, that's the price of smiles.
Like, if that's actually where this show ends up going, if the show actually ends up just saying, you know what, fuck it, we're going full, like, Metal Gear Solid 5 Big Boss on this shit, like, the price of smiles is paid in blood and fire, like, if that's the actual direction they take with this, like, I wouldn't say that's good, but it would be so fucking just audacious that I would not be able to help but kind of love it.
Oh, wow. Lily committed war crimes.
Damn it. She shot that man in the head.
Dude, she fucking John Wick that guy, like, just merciless, straight up. And yeah, some of the, and then mecha fighting is pretty decent too, so, you know, there's that.
we didn't even get to that.
Uh,
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe worth checking out. Then we'll see how it goes.
Oh, okay, fine. I'm sorry. One last thing. Let me just say this one last thing because it's so stupid, but it happened from the prior week's episode. But there's a battle in which
That's right.
the Empire and the Kingdom are fighting, and the Kingdom ambushes the Empire by placing its like howitzer artillery mechs on the top of a cliff and shooting down at the Empire guys. And the Empire, because the mechs in this show can't fly, right? Like they kind of do like that like low level hovering shit. So the Empire guys' response is they deploy a mobile big ass ramp. And they fucking boost off that fucking ramp onto the cliffside, where then they proceed to just hack up those robots on top of that cliff. Like it's the most fucking ridiculous, like, but also strangely ingenious thing I've seen in a mecha anime in a while.
Yo, Lily, hit that big ass ramp.
I'm not even joking. That's exactly what it is. They hit that big ass ramp.
Yeah, are we making a 50 Cent Blood in the Sand references yet?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yes, we are.
All right. maybe that's our cue to move on then.
Yes.
I don't know, G. It sounds like it's
Yep.
it sounds like it's checking a lot of boxes for you. I mean,
Kind of is.
all right. So
We have to move on.
how do I there's no segue from 50 Cent Blood in the Sand, so let's just talk about Dororo.
Sure.
So,
Blood will tell, baby.
so
You know who else will get rich or die trying? It's Dororo, baby.
Sure.
That kid's got hustle. You know what?
Yep.
I like that kid. He's got hustle.
So,
Mhm.
I only watched the first episode and I thought it was pretty good. Did you guys watch the second episode?
Yeah, I think Gina and I did.
Okay.
I mean, it is following some of the okay. There are like, it sure is adapting Dororo, like to doing known stories from that series so far.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the original material, but you know, honestly, it's kind of a little bit like Mob Psycho. I got to be honest. Like Dororo it's cool as fuck, but there's also not a ton else to say. Like it looks good, and the characters are charming, and like
It's
I
funny
don't know.
because I feel like everything about that show doesn't seem like it'd be that charming, but there's some sort of old school Tezuka charm that
Yeah.
bleeds through.
Yeah, if you just read the concept off a piece of paper, it sounds kind of like super dark and
I mean, it kind
I
of
don't know,
is.
it sounds
but
like the most metal thing in the
it
universe.
sounds pretty metal, actually.
Yeah, kind of. I
I
mean,
don't know, it's just weirdly charming. It's a lot of
yeah.
ways.
I mean, like it's in that weird Tezuka way where like only a guy like Tezuka would write a story about. Look at this fucking weird eyeless, skinless baby that like was consumed by demons and driven by pure like grit and desire to live. Fucking
And got a
magically
robot body.
controls this prosthetic like kill body designed to just kill the shit out of demons. And then there's also this precocious kid thief along for the ride.
Yay!
Yeah,
I don't
so
know. That PS2 game's all right.
Yeah.
is
And hey, Mappa does good work.
yeah, Mappa definitely does good work. Like I said, I did very much like the first episode, and again, now that first look season is over, I should be able to get back around to watching it. But you know, if anything, it's just something different than the usual high school
I will say,
stuff.
I hope they keep some of the goofier stuff. Like, for example, in the original version and in the video game, his leg has a machine gun in it.
Oh man.
There's no
And
way
I'm
they
sad,
can
like I
cut that, right? You can't cut that.
I don't know. It's been the tone is more serious, I feel like, than any other version of this I've
That
seen.
is true. Like, I mean, I'm definitely enjoying it, but this version of Dororo is definitely pretty self-serious.
It's interesting to me because Hyakimaru has not spoken at all. When, like, as far as I know, in every other version, even missing all of his body parts, he still like speaks and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah. But here it's straight up like he just doesn't talk, presumably because he doesn't have his tongue back or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I do kind of like that
way more
angle.
intense of a character.
Yeah,
He doesn't
it's kind of
speak. Just a murder machine.
It's kind of an interesting take, I think. Like, kind of. I'm not saying, oh, they're doing it more like they're doing like if he realistically was missing all of his body parts and organs, but it's more like they're kind of treating it with more like, what's the word? Like, it feels more
More thought put into it.
Sure, yeah. Like, my understanding is that in the original manga, they just explain away everything by just he develops psychic powers to like
another running theme in Tezuka works. To be honest,
whereas like in this one, they're kind of like playing into like, nah, like this dude's kind of fucked up, you know? Motherfucker doesn't even have his skin at the start of the first episode, you know?
Right.
So
just wears like a mask or whatever.
Yeah.
Question:
I don't know.
Does this have flamenco music?
No.
No, but the OP is pretty
not
great.
as good as the live action movie.
Opening's pretty good though.
Yeah, I do like the opening.
I just love that
headless ghost horses riding over the horizon.
I just love that Iroh's frame of reference is a PS2 game and Aqua's frame of reference is a live action film, and neither of them is the manga itself, but
yeah, well,
anyway.
I don't know, that original opening from the 60s is pretty good.
Yeah. It's pretty catchy.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
There's some strong OPs this season. We'll save that discussion for when we get to the end of the list here, but
yeah, all of them are weirdly inappropriate.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Sure.
Anyway, let's so yeah, that seems to be solid adaptation so far. We'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah.
Moving along, last episode we did not have an official localized title for this, but now we do. It is My Roommate is a Cat. They went the simple route on that one.
What was like the original like translation?
I think the original is like My Roommate sits on my lap and on my head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
it's something like that.
I mean, I guess for English speakers that doesn't really roll off the tongue so great.
They had to...
Also sounded too much like a hentai.
A little bit.
A cat is fine too, as they say.
Yes.
That's
Pulling out the dusty old memes.
Yeah, that's an old one for sure. But anyway,
like Tsukihime deep cut.
Yep.
Did anybody else watch this, or is this just me on this one?
I watched the first episode.
Okay,
I did not watch it.
All right.
Nope.
So yeah. So this was the one that was about a writer who's a bit of a loner, and he takes in this stray cat who inspires him to write his next book. So he takes in the stray cat with him, and they kind of it's kind of about them developing their friendship or whatever. And the hook is they kind of do the episode like normal with the writer guy going about his business, and then like the last like third of the episode they switch over to the cat's perspective and show like what happened like from his point of view. And
it's cute.
Yeah, it's a yeah, I guess cute is a good word to describe it. I mean, I kind of, when we were doing the preview, I thought it was going to be maybe a little more serious. I guess it kind of is, because they I think they're going for like.
He also has crippling depression.
Well,
I mean,
okay, they're kind of going for. They are kind of going for that angle because they kind of set up that the author hasn't really dealt with losing his parents, and that's, they're kind of going for like a healing type of angle. So there's a lot of like sort of, I guess, sentimentality in there, which is fine.
That's the reincarnation of his dead little sister.
No, I just realized. Don't you understand?
Is the cat his wife?
No, haven't y'all watched any goddamn movie about a pet?
Oh no,
this movie's gonna end with a 20-year time skip. And then the cat's gonna die.
Yeah. Well, just to address the reincarnation thing, there are some hints that could be a possibility in
Are you
some
serious?
capacity.
Serious?
Are you shitting me?
Well, they like he finds the cat like at his parents' grave and stuff like that, right, or something like that.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Yes.
yeah. And like the first thing he said, the first thing he says when he sees the cat, which is very weird, is that the cat has the same mouth as his mother,
Hey, don't judge.
which is a very odd thing to say when you see a cat. But so
yeah, that's a weird thing to say to anybody. You have my mother's mouth.
so
Hang on.
So yeah, they could be going in that direction. But for the time being, the first 2 episodes were kind of pretty straightforward and simple and cute and fun to watch. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So
That's nice.
I'll be keeping an eye on it until they drop the inevitable melodrama bomb, which I feel like is definitely coming eventually. But
Is the cat gonna have to move to America for going to college?
no, but yeah, I don't know if they're gonna do make the cat die thing. Like that was the other thing. Like I thought the closest frame of reference was She and Her Cat by Makoto Shinkai, and the cat dies in that. But
does it? Okay.
It's a Shinkai movie. What did you expect?
I expected a long distance romance that ends in a bittersweet manner because that's the only fucking thing you can do.
yeah,
He's also very good at drawing backgrounds.
This is a little more lighthearted than that, but I guess it is. I feel like there still is some comparison to, or I have a feeling there will be more comparison to be made by the time it's over, but we'll see.
Okay, question. Is there a hot lady who has a hot cat?
Not yet. Right?
He does meet this attractive woman at the pet store in episode 2, but she,
of course.
at least at the time,
Yeah.
at least at the time, we did not see.
She's here for that
she had a
hot cat action.
Yeah, so
Hey man, no, pets are the perfect icebreaker, man. Pets are the best wingman.
yeah, so I would not be surprised if he meets her in a later episode and she has a cat herself. So you're on to something there, Aqua. So there you go, folks. We just wrote the script for the rest of the series.
What you're saying is that this is anime Garfield.
You can send send the checks to the GLORIO blog at paypal.com.
Yes. Gel at theglorioblog.com for PayPal.
Don't use PayPal. Elon Musk is still looking for me.
Call back.
All right. Shall we?
Aqua, how do you always bring up Elon Musk in every podcast somehow? I
don't know, man.
Apparently, did you see the picture floating around with him wearing a Kakegurui t-shirt?
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
There's our connection to this episode. So there you go. Watch Elon Musk's favorite anime, Kakegurui, on Netflix, available now.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Oh,
it's a show about crazy people gambling with absurd amounts of money,
like psychopath rich guys. Yeah.
So it makes sense. Totally makes sense. I have no idea what we were talking about now. Where were we?
Promised
Neverland. We are rapidly losing.
Move on. The
fucking thread on this podcast.
Cat show is good for now. We'll see how that goes. Let's move on to The Promised Neverland, one of the most anticipated shows going in, and would we say it pretty much delivered what we were expecting?
Yeah, sure. Seems good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think it's kind of hard to talk about without spoiling too much, but
a little bit. I don't
think it's a spoiler that something bad is going on in their situation.
Some ratchet shit is happening at this orphanage.
It is probably, I must admit, because I tried to go in as blind as I possibly could on it. I knew something, like, even if you just watch the trailer, they indicate that obviously not all is not as it seems. That probably
neck tattoos didn't set you off.
Well, yes, obviously something was wrong.
I don't know, G. This could have been a perfectly cromulent, fun little cute girls doing cute things show set on a horrible farm where children are bred to be fed to demons.
Yeah, I did not see that. I did not see that as being the bad thing coming. I must admit.
It is a bit out there without context,
and it definitely adds it definitely adds like a horror element to it, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I've heard a lot of people. So let me throw this out there. I've heard a lot of people comparing it to Made in Abyss as far as just like the tone of it. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think that's kind of a service level. Like, oh, it's a cutesy. Or it's a manga with a kind of a cutesy aesthetic, but there's some dark shit going on. Like, I don't know if that quite lines up. Like, they both definitely have, like, great art and, like, are good at kind of building this kind of creeping, tension and horror. But
I think the core difference is that Promised Neverland is still very much a shonen manga at heart, whereas Made in Abyss is a seinen manga through and through.
Yeah, like, for example, like, you have the character Emma, who is, like, intrinsically, like, the optimist in the trio. She is the one who's saying stuff like, no, we're going to save all the orphans. We're not going to flee this jail on our own. Like, when we break out of the orphanage, we're going to save everybody. It's those kind of moments that, like, you realize, oh, right, yes, this is still kind of something published in Weekly Shonen Jump. The thing I think Promised Neverland does really well, though, is that it contrasts that kind of very standard shonen, optimism and hot blood with the tension and horror aspects of the rest of the story.
I think, the main thing that sets it apart is that the universe does not wrap around the main character to prove them right. As in, like, in most shonen manga, you have a main character who's like, the power of friendship will solve everything. And then guess what? The power of friendship does solve everything.
I mean, I don't know, Uncle. Have you been reading the manga lately? If we could do it, we could do the Promised Neverland like manga spoiler cast later. But I feel like, look, I don't want to get into it because we're talking about the anime. But
the thing is, this has a far more pragmatic look at those morals, and for that reason, I find them a lot less annoying and egregious than they do in most shonen manga.
I think the thing that works, and I don't want to spoil or talk too much about manga stuff, but I think that the reason why Emma works as a character is because she is forcibly contrasted against Ray and Norman, who are very much pragmatists,
Yeah.
And it's kind of very fun to watch these, like, they're both pragmatists. One is just, way more honest about it than the other, but, like, the way they are forced to, like, alter their plans to kind of fit, like, Emma's, like, kind of unyielding optimism in the face of overwhelming odds, I think, creates a good character dynamic.
It's it's interesting because it actually, like, it turns Emma into the protagonist because she is the heart of the group and not because she is the most active member of the group.
Yeah,
that's like, she is not the idea person, and she's also not the action person.
Well, she's the shonen protagonist. She's the muscle of the trio. So
yeah.
But yeah, as far as the anime goes, I think it's doing a good job of.
It's hard to talk about this without talking about manga spoilers. I'm sorry.
I have not read the manga, and I'm enjoying the anime.
Yeah, I think we kind of both you and I kind of talked about it in our first look post, but shows like this, like My Hero Academia, they're kind of representing a kind of refreshing take on shonen adaptations in anime. We don't have to suffer through 50 episodes of My Hero Academia filler. And, like, kind of same thing with, Promised Neverland, right? It's only getting one core, so, like, they're going to end at basically the best possible place, and, there's not going to be any pressure to, like, come up with, like, extra filler material. Like, they're kind of doing these adaptations what they deserve,
Yeah. And I wonder what actually caused that shift.
I honestly think it's probably the death of the big three, or not the death, but like the
end of the big three,
the sunsetting of the big three.
Might be a budget thing, like,
because I know
because
bankroll a
higher budget than the, like, ongoing.
I'm saying, like, Well, maybe you're right.
In
But
general, though,
also, like,
we see a lot. I mean, over the past even like 10 years, I would say we've seen less and less, shows go past one core. I mean, I know
Yeah, that is
the big
true.
shonen. I know the big shonen shows kind of like exist in their own world, but in general, like
yeah, Boruto and Black Clover are still going.
Right, and I mean, hell, even My Hero Academia is like what 60 episodes in at this point, but it's
Yeah,
just been like
it takes like a 9-month break.
right,
between
but that's
seasons.
right, but that's what makes it work is that it's been well spaced out over the last like 3 or so years. And I think that's a good sign for the Promised Neverland as well. That if they can continue to kind of get adaptations like these, that kind of do the source material justice, without kind of stretching them too thin, then it's gonna make me really look forward to the Chainsaw Man anime adaptation. So
Double arts anime.
that's got to be Bones, right? Like Bones would have to be the one that would do Chainsaw Man, like them or Mappa, right? Like
yeah. Just
Iro,
like
Iro, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know, man.
Double
Maybe
Arts
I
is
want
dead.
to maybe I want the Fire Punch anime first.
oh my god, dude, I don't even know what the fuck a Fire Punch. A Fire Punch anime would be.
It'd be CG Fire all the time.
Oh god, no, you're totally right.
I don't know, man. Maybe the only way to properly enjoy Fire Punch is with like shitty CGI.
You're not wrong, because Fire Punch. Look, we're getting to a real bad tangent over here, which is bad because the next anime we're talking about is also going to require a very bad tangent. But a Fire Punch anime, in a ways, would kind of have to be almost, I feel like, Pop Team Epic-esque in terms of like anime shit posting incarnate, because that's kind of what that story is.
Just like a different animation crew on every episode.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
Long story short, Promised Neverland turned out pretty good so far. Really reminds me why I love the early parts of the manga so much. Like, very much.
I'm enjoying it.
One of the, I'd say, like, as much as I love My Hero Academia, I'd say like the first arc of the Promised Neverland is maybe some of the strongest like early stuff I've ever seen in Weekly Shonen Jump.
So, it's been pretty well received across the board. Would we say that the Promised Neverland is the best show of the season?
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty early to call that.
Look, I don't know, man. Did you listen to me talk about The Price of Smiles?
I don't know.
You are very enthusiastic about that show, G. So I don't know. It's like I said, it's checking all your boxes. I know, but
yeah, but like in the worst way possible. Like in the sloppiest, fucking like guiltiest pleasurist way you could possibly do it.
Speaking of checking G's boxes,
hell yeah, let's just get into it.
That is why I have you on this podcast. That is a beautiful transition. Yes, so we're gonna revisit our discussion from the last episode, the battle between the two Girls and Airplanes shows. So we had Girly Air Force on one side. Versus the Magnificent KOTOBUKI on the other. Two pretty different takes on the Girls and Airplanes concept. Let's start with Girly Air Force, which I think G and I both watched and can definitively say it was bad, as expected.
Yep, not very good.
The only amusement I got out of it is the fact that the girls are actually the airplanes.
It's like Upote, but with planes.
Sorry, could you say that one more time?
It's like Upote, but with planes.
No, because they don't represent the planes. The plane,
the jet fighter. Like the end game of this is banging a literal jet fighter.
Right, like the thing is, like it's
not
like
unprecedented.
Right, the thing is that it's not like a Can Cole style, like, oh, the girl represents the ship. Like, the actual jet is there. It's a real jet. It's an actual Gripen E, a Swedish multi-role fighter. Very excellent plane. Not my favorite in the world, but the Japanese love it for some reason. But then the girl exists as like a AI unit. Like,
it's okay. So it's like these planes have stands that are cute girls.
Yeah, that's kind of a good way of describing it.
You know, like how in Transformers, Starscream summons like a fake pilot, Is it like that?
Yeah,
probably a good
kind
way
of.
of,
But the pilot is real, like they're tangible. So
Yeah, like the moment I realized what was going on was like the main guy, I guess, falls in love with the plane or something. I don't know, like the actual jet fighter, and he's like obsessed
Once
with finding it, and
unprecedented.
he sneaks onto like the military base, and they catch him, and the dude is getting like interrogated or something, and like you like see like the lights come on in the background. He's like, well, I guess we better stop. The princess is angry, and they turn around and it's like the actual jet fighter is angry because they're like holding her new boyfriend at gunpoint.
Okay.
Look, the episode literally ends with like the fucking like Dr. Saotome ask fucking like, you know, morally dubious like scientist dude telling the main kid just like, we know we wouldn't want to keep you around, but the plane has an interesting reaction when you're around, so welcome to the Air Force, kid. And it's like,
yeah,
all right. And I skimmed the second episode, and let me tell you, it doesn't get better. Like, Girly Air Force and Kotobuki, which we'll get to later, are basically your two logical extremes of the spectrum of planes media. And Girly Air Force is like, it's all aesthetic with none of the substance. Like, fucking zero dogfighting in episode 2. Episode 2 is like, the scientist is like, take the girl out on the town with you. She needs to learn what it's like to be human.
And of course,
and so that means,
right?
getting into... Yeah, it means it's like getting into hilarious, like, misunderstandings, you know, where she says stuff like,
I want you inside me.
Yeah, like, I want you inside me, or fucking, what was that screenshot? It said, you know, the doctor told me to let you have your way with me, or some shit. It's like, it's one of those kind of fucking shows where it's just like, they come to love each other because he shows her the world, the real world, and gives her a reason to fight, or something. It's so fucking, like, it's like the most bog standard harem shit imaginable. And look, I'm not saying that's. Here's the thing: I won't say it's offensive. You know, like, you know, compared to some of the really bad anime that are airing this season, Girly Air Force isn't like bad in that truly abominable way. It's just bad in the way that is like
it's just trite.
It's just simply unappealing. Like, if you like it, if you like your plain foos, like, look, I'm not gonna judge. I got my plain foos myself. You know, like. F-16C fighting Falcon, you know, ride or die to the very end. Like, I get it. Just as somebody who comes to planes media, because, like, I'm all up in that Macross Plus Area 88 shit. Like, this anime's not giving me what I need.
Okay, but what about the Magnificent KOTOBUKI?
Yeah, so another day volunteering at the Air Force. Everyone keeps asking me if they can fuck the plane. Buddy, they won't even let me fuck it.
That's basically what this boils down to. So on the one hand, we have Girly Air Force. Their take on fighter plane porn is making them into girls, sort of. Whereas on the other hand, the Magnificent KOTOBUKI takes the concept of fighter plane porn in perhaps the more traditional sense of really getting into the details.
So
in the proper direction.
We were watching this episode, and like 5 minutes in, after introducing the girls being their normal cute girls doing cute things, girl ensemble of the regular one, the pretty one, the boy one, the, you know,
the Ojo-sama,
right, the mom, etc. And then, like, they go take off in their planes, and here's this like 3-minute long startup sequence, and then here's this 10-minute long wordless dogfight, and like, I'm spending this whole time thinking, okay, when's this shoe gonna drop and it becomes like hella anime? But no, it's just actual plane shit.
It's pure dogfighting. This show is like, KOTOBUKI is kind of this awful looking thing, you know, maybe a couple steps above the Berserk anime, just because, you know, it's intentionally going for a more stylized look, but like, it ends up having maybe the most realistic dogfighting I've ever seen in anime. Like, I'm talking true fucking ACM, aerial combat maneuvers. I am not even joking, this is some fucking Ace Combat shit. You know, that sequence that Ira's talking about at the very beginning, like, they spend like fucking minutes, like, dedicated to showing like the plane startup sequence, and it's like a nigh perfect portrayal, like down to like testing the flaps in all ignition configurations. And then the dogfighting itself, like there's no anime bullshit. Hell, the characters don't even say that much. Like it's real ass like prop plane dogfighting. You know, I'm talking fucking like pursuit curves and rolling scissors, like shot leading, like fucking true barrel rolls. You know, not aileron rolls, not that fake shit. I'm talking about real ass barrel rolls true, not barrel rolls false. You know, like it's kind of absurd. And like, you know, again, I think as I was mentioning to you guys in the chat, like it's even communicating story and character in its dogfighting in a way that only like a truly crazy person would A, create, and B, would appreciate. You know, like the way the girls dogfight is just subtly different enough to like help you understand like oh, you know, this girl is like, you know, she likes to pursue her planes like this, where this girl tends to like prefer this kind of maneuver. You know, it's kind of riskier but tends to have bigger payoffs. And it's like whoever's making this anime fucking loves the shit out of planes.
Okay, so I have a
this
question.
is the guy who did Girls in Panzer, which was the exact same thing except with tanks.
And now I'm wondering, like, fuck, did I fuck up not watching that show? Like,
That show's like the hugest thing ever. Or whatever.
Was Girls in Panzer that like realistic though? I mean, the girls were practicing Taekwondo. I mean, I don't really know.
Like, I guess
As far as I know, it also has like loving detail for like tank maneuvers and like
Okay.
I don't know.
Sure.
I've never watched
But
it.
I think the difference is that like in Kotobuki, like, I mean, honestly, like to the less informed audiences, I almost feel like a show like Kotobuki would be more incentivized to be more anime, to be kind of more extravagant, because a lot of the maneuvers are very traditional. Like, it's very traditional dogfighting that they're portraying here. Like, I mean, it's punched up a little bit for media, but like, for the most part, they don't do anything that those planes would be unable to do in real life. It's this like really weird dedication to like the verisimilitude of plane combat. Like, I mean, frankly, it's more fucking realistic than Ace Combat, that's for sure. You know, I've been playing the fucking shit out of Ace Combat 7 right now, so, you know, this month is like, I don't know, I guess 2019 is the year of the jet, apparently, but, you know, just, I don't know, the Magnificent Kotobuki, it doesn't look great, the characters aren't that interesting, I don't even know what the fuck they're actually doing with this story in the grand scheme of things, but...
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
This is made by the main staff on Shirobako, right?
I think it has a lot of staff behind
The director
it. Yes,
and like,
uh,
isn't this based off like a show within a show in Shirobako?
No,
I feel like
because-
I heard something vaguely along those lines.
Well, that's what we were all joking about, but no, because like
No,
it's actually different from the show within a show from
Okay.
Shirobako. Like, but it kind of feels like this is like, yes, it definitely feels like they're making that show that was in that show Shirobako that they always wanted to make. It's just done in this really unappealing looking CG.
I mean,
because they probably brought that idea up to PA Works, and PA Works were like, "Are you mad?"
well, they did.
I mean, that's a thing, right?
They did let them make the like OVA or something. They made like an OVA or something.
Yeah, they did do like an OVA pilot, essentially. But yeah, it's like, I don't really know how I'm going to feel about the Magnificent Kotobuki in the long run. Like, but its sheer dedication to its highly specific craft is so impressive. It's so well done that I cannot help but be filled with a deep respect for it.
I mean, gee, let me ask you this: is the only thing holding you back from like legitimately loving it is the visuals?
Kinda, yeah. Like, it's just...
No, I mean,
Well,
I'm
here's
with you
the
because
thing,
they
that's-
are bad. It's the same studio that did
Here's the thing.
Berserk, the
Yeah.
recent Berserk 3D
I will say,
abomination.
some of the stills look pretty decent. Like, there are definitely stills in this shot, or there are definitely shots in this anime that, like, you can tell they spent a little bit of extra time, and maybe they even, like, you know, brushed up a little in 2D, like, on top of it, so they look pretty good. But, like, you know, it's probably like even the planes themselves, like, it's lovingly rendered, like, 100% accurately, but it still looks like a fucking, like a PS3 model at best, you know? Like, it's just, it's a damn shame, because I feel like this show could never be made in pure 2D, not in 2019. Like, it had to be CG. Like, that part I wholly accept. But it's just a damn shame it doesn't look a little bit better, because otherwise, like, I think this would be the show I would be the most enthusiastic about, just because of how much it appeals to, like, my highly specific interests.
Yeah. I think that
Then I
maybe
guess
loops back to some of our previous conversations about why hasn't CG looked better after like 10 to 20 years of
10 to 20 years of this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. That's a great question.
That's
especially
another...
when studios like Orange exist, and
yeah,
that's
another question.
But, you know
time,
what? Fucking whatever. At the end of the day, the best playing anime of the season is Ace Combat 7. So at the end of the day, like, if you are, somebody this season is like, man, I really want some planes and overwrought melodrama and grizzled old men monologuing about countries and nations and the nature of war, and also cool jets and badass music, just save your money on your Crunchyroll subscription and go buy Ace Combat 7 again instead. That'll be a far better use of your money.
How long before they get that Girly Air Force collaboration? Get those bright neon color skins on the planes?
I'm counting the minutes as we speak, Joe. It's only a matter of time.
All right. So let's keep moving. While we're still checking all of G's boxes here.
Yep.
Magical Girl Spec-Ops Asuka. I actually also watched this. You know what, G? I'll let you continue on this one before I say my...
We will just continue with just fucking G's fucking anime trash power hour over here. This show is... Look, I'm not going to even bother trying to defend this show. It's trashy and awful. Like if The Price of Smiles is trashy, but like in a like still entertaining way, Magical Girl Spec-Ops Asuka is kind of trashy in like the bad way.
I don't know. I was thoroughly entertained for that first episode, but I don't think it can really entertain me for further than that first episode.
And I totally agree with Eero, but also I'm going to keep watching this show because there's
Magical Girl.
There's an angle. There's an angle to this bullshit. Oh, there, you guessed it. Yeah, the angle is it's girls with guns. Turns out I'm the easiest fucking person to please in the world. If you fucking take a girl, I don't care how bad the art is or how much I don't like her design, if you fucking hand her a fucking M16 or an AK-47, I'm just like, oh, okay, maybe I'll watch some of that. So, I don't know. It's not great, but like, and I kind of wish it was a little bit more self-aware, because I feel like there are moments of it that kind of realize how absurd... Like, how absurd the angle of it is. Like the main character is this magical girl. She's a veteran of the old magical girl war against, like, the evil magical stuffed animals. And, like, the prologue of this anime starts off with, like, a bunch of, like, sliding stills of, like, this war. And watching that, I'm like, fuck, dog, I want that anime. The fuck is going on in this shit?
Yeah.
Like, and, like... It's like that was like a few years ago. She's like older now, but like she's the war never left her. She's got scars that you don't see. Like I don't ever mean to like make light of PTSD or veterans who struggle with their experiences after their time in war, but the main character has a fucking Nam flashback when she sees an animal mascot handing out balloons to kids because the monsters in the show look like stuffed animals. So she has a fucking like flashback / hallucination of that animal mascot like picking up that kid and crushing his head like a fucking melon. And like,
it's so goofy.
It's so over the top.
She has the flashback with like her parents. Things killing her parents or whatever.
Oh, right, that's right.
Fucking yes, like their body parts being delivered in a fucking
stuffed animals, by the way.
by stuffed animals, like some like Caro ass motherfuckers, like again, I don't think the show is good, but when the main character is dropping lines like fucking Old Snake, where she's like, oh, I gotta keep my mind occupied at all times because when I'm just alone with my thoughts, I just think about the bad times. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
Yeah,
it's
I don't think it even comes close to taking advantage of its premise. Which,
no, it definitely doesn't play on it well enough.
Which, like, again, like you said, some self-awareness would help, or I don't know, or better integrating the magical girl thing. There's so much potential that's not being tapped, and basically you just get like a mediocre action show. And I mean, that could be worse. It could be worse. There are worse things than that.
Oh yeah. I mean, again, I guess I'll say kind of similar to Girly Air Force. This anime isn't like horrible. It's just trashy and like, you know, not very good. But also it's like doing some shit that like I cannot help but. I mean, look, I'm going into this more like a comedy. You know, I cannot take a show like this seriously.
Even though it takes itself 110% seriously.
Yes, like, the moment you take it seriously, all is lost. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's like the kind of thing, like watching the show kind of reminded me of like Nobunaga of all things. like if this show was more like Nobunaga, if it was more like edgy but self-aware about it and like leaning into it, I think that would work a lot better than what it's currently doing.
Yeah, because that show.
We didn't deserve Nobunaga.
That show was the most intelligently stupid show.
Oh yeah, totally. Yes. Like that was a show that was stupid, but it was written by smart people.
Yes, it was. It was a very stupid show written by very smart people, and it was great. But this show,
the pipe comes out of the axe's head.
All right.
Like, when the axe transforms, they do like a Native American chanting, and the little smoke pipe comes out of it. Like
dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper is Florence Nightingale.
All right. Well, we can talk about Nobunaga another time.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for our Nobunaga rewatch podcast coming soon to the GLORIO network.
I'm totally down for that. But yeah. Anyways, that show is great. This show is not.
No, alas, it is.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to our final show on the list. Shocking no one, my personal favorite so far. So we have Kaguya-sama Love is War, which is the best romantic comedy of the season. I don't even know if there are other ones. I don't even remember. But
is it the only romantic?
It might be
comedy
the only one. I don't know. But it's pretty solid. This is the one. So my hot take elevator pitch for this was what if you took Takagi-san, but both the guy and the girl are both Takagi?
I mean, my take was, what if the gay subtext in Death Note was the entire show?
It could be both.
Those both kind of line up, I think. So the two main characters are, like geniuses, and they're basically trying.
Actually, no. I'm gonna have to correct you. It's Takagi-san, but they're both Nishikata.
You mean like they try to plot a lot and they're bad at it?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what?
They keep playing it,
they just make it sound smarter, but in the end, maybe it isn't.
That's right. Yeah, they do. Just keep playing themselves.
Yeah, because they make it sound like they're playing some real like fourth dimensional chess, trying to get each other to confess, which is the whole premise of the show, is that they're supposed to be like these super geniuses at a school for geniuses or whatever, and they have definitely fallen in love. They know that each other have fallen. Like it's like, I know that you know that I know that you know that I like you, but they're trying.
Oh, Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yes, exactly. And so, but they're trying to get the other person to say it first, basically, because they feel like,
because love is war.
Yes. I still have not fully reconciled with that aspect of it, because
the thing is just they're so proud that they don't want to admit defeat.
Right. but the fact that they're like
But
equating
like
like,
everyone in the show admits that they are complete idiots and they should just confess already.
yes,
And it's just like them who are getting wound up about this. And like part of the show is them overcoming that.
right.
So I guess my question then is like, is the appeal then watching like their increasingly convoluted plans? Because I feel like, especially talking to you and Marlon, Jill, that like I feel like the thing that always frustrates you guys about these kind of shows is like when the subtext is clearly there, but they take, fucking forever. They drag their feet to the confession. So then
I think the difference here, I would say this is primarily a comedy above all else.
Yeah.
So the fun is watching them come up with these stupid plans and fail miserably at it. It's kind of hard to explain. Comedy is in general is usually pretty hard to explain in words, but it's pretty clear
totally.
when you watch it. Both the writer and director like understand how comedy works and do a very good job of executing it. So like they know how to set up good jokes. The comedic timing of everything is spot on. The presentation is pretty slick, actually. It's very dynamic.
I mean, this is exactly what a Kaguya-sama anime should have looked like. Extremely over the top, like Death Note levels of super smug scheming.
Right.
It wouldn't have worked if they hadn't made it look like this.
Yeah, and it's so it's presented well. I guess kind of one thing I think that kind of indicates the tone of the show, like just like all comedies, they kind of have like 3 or 4 little arcs in each episode of like them setting up some elaborate scheme and then it failing miserably, and then at the end they actually have the narrator come in and determine who won that round. Like it's like,
yeah,
there's like this round, the win goes to Kaguya, or then he'll come up with some elaborate reason as to why, and then we move on to the next one. So I think because the primary appeal is the comedy part and the romance part is kind of cute or whatever, but it's I don't really care so much about them just making out already, because that's not like I wouldn't say the main focus.
Indeed, yeah. Though I have to say, like, as a reader of the manga, it's surprisingly diverse. Like, it's not like Takagi-san, which is literally the same thing over and over and over again. But there are like fun side characters who get their time in the spotlight. There are some like mini arcs, just some character development, and just like some like the standard school life anime stuff, like the athletics festival and the elections for the new president or the new term of the student council.
Right.
So does that also involve like weird guillotine fights?
Well,
alas.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I think to Aqua's point with Takagi-san, that show, part of kind of the whole point of that show is it was kind of very down to earth and kind of grounded in reality, whereas this one, there's no like fantasy elements per se, but like they're all super rich and have unlimited resources, and like it's a lot more like crazy in that way. Weird stuff can happen, and there are more like, so like there is actually like a third character that's fairly important, who's like the secretary of the student council. So the main couple is like the president and vice president of the student council, and then like their secretary is like this like airheaded but she serves her role very well as sort of like the buffer between the two. Aqua would probably know better if he's reading the manga. Is she trying to get them together secretly in the background? I don't know, but
let's just say that she knows more than she lets on.
Oh, it's all part of her keikaku.
Yeah.
I see.
So
keikaku means plan.
Yes. So yeah, there's like enough. There's definitely more variety there than something like, say, Takagi-san, because there are plot elements in there that allow them to do crazier, bigger stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty solid and pretty fun so far.
It's just a very charming, well-made anime comedy that gets the most out of an interesting premise.
Right.
I'd say, like,
yeah. I think the only
and
go ahead, Aqua.
Like major shout out to the animators and the director for making this look exactly as over the top as it should be.
Yeah.
What studio is that?
A1.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
A1.
being made by A1, so it's pretty top notch. Also,
A2.
Actually, it's the same director as Kotobuki. So
Wait, what?
Wait,
I'm totally wrong.
Oh,
I'm
all right.
totally
Okay,
wrong.
okay.
Dude,
Who shows
you have the wrong fucking tab open
Oh.
and clicked on
Right.
director, and that guy came out. I'm like, okay, must be that show.
one last
Fuck it. It's the same director as Rakugo, is what it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
one last thing on that.
I'm sorry.
Oh, what a good choice would that have been, though.
Fuck,
one
all
last
right.
one last thing on that show. The OP is great.
Yes, I like that opening a
Yeah,
lot.
that OP is pretty damn good. I have not watched a single second of that show, but that OP is solid.
Yeah, I'm all in favor for any time, a show like
They bust out the 70s male singers.
yeah, he's kind of you kind of like this 70s crooner vibe on that, but
I mean, now that voice is very good, but now I'm just saying as a mere suggestion, what if in that opening, instead of some boy and girl doing some dumb whatever shit, what if instead in that opening it was a man riding a motorcycle, and then that motorcycle could transform into power armor?
Okay,
And
yeah,
then
okay.
Let me take your suggestion and add. What if they screamed the name of the show a bunch of times?
Okay.
Okay.
at the appropriate
I
moments
like
in
where this
the
is going.
Kaguya-sama, the genius is more of love and blah blah blah.
What if we add some shouted attack names?
yeah.
Yeah, I like where this is going. I think. All right, A1. Once again, you can send a check in the mail to the GLORIO Network at PayPal.com.
I just
Do not actually send anything to that address. I don't think that address actually exists. Gel, maybe you should get onto making that address.
oh yeah, it does. It's not linked to PayPal though. That can be arranged.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I just appreciate any time an OP for a show like this doesn't just go with the have the main actress sing
idol J-pop stuff,
an idol J-pop song in a squeaky squirrely voice type of thing. And
I mean, making a PayPal sounds like a good idea. That way we can pay people to listen to our podcast.
or maybe maybe I can pay the writing staff. Oh wait. Anyway, so that show is good, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the end of the list.
That just leaves us with one more question. Does this season of anime spark joy?
Are we bringing up that what's the lady's name?
I mean, otherwise we're gonna have to toss it out.
Please.
You know what?
Please don't do this to me.
You know what? The price of smile sparks something in me. I don't know if it's joy. Maybe it's
arousal.
Yes, maybe just feverish arousal.
Well, I think the arousal was from Magnificent Kotobuki and the plane sequences, right, G?
You're right. I'm getting these mixed up. Yes.
So,
buddy, they wouldn't even let me fuck the planes.
Okay.
All right.
For everything we have to say about this kind of generally not super hot season, there are at least so far some things worth.
Yeah, I wouldn't say.
You know?
I guess when I was saying at the outset that the season was predictable, I didn't necessarily mean that was bad. It was just that the shows that we thought were going to be good were generally good, and the shows that we thought were bad generally bad. I think there's certainly plenty of things for us to watch. I don't know if there's anything, any all-time greats in this lineup, but there's enough to keep us entertained. So
I thought you were going to say occupied, but
Well, I'm setting my baseline for my entertainment to be at least entertaining. Occupied is maybe a little too low of a bar for me.
I don't know, Joe. Occupied, entertained in the year 2019. Is there really a difference? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
if your media could just occupy your brain so you don't have to think about all the other shit, then really, hasn't it largely succeeded?
Occupy my brain so I don't flash back to the stuffed animals murdering my parents.
Yeah, the stuffed animal war of '99.
I'd be going back to a much earlier stuffed animal war. But anyway, let's just wrap this show up now. We've gone on long enough.
Sure, we've gone on for a while.
All right, so let's do our general housekeeping. You can read everything we write at theglorioblog.com. Go ahead and check out all of our first looks for all the shows. Obviously, we watched a lot more than what we talked about today. There may be something else in there that we missed that you might be interested in, but I highly doubt it. That most of that was just bad.
For all of you angry, we didn't mention Boogie Pop. You can read our first look post on the blog.
Yeah, I did not include that because nobody on the podcast today is still watching it. I think Marlon said he was going to keep watching it, but I don't know if he still is. But
also because this podcast is nearly 2 hours, so something has to go.
Anyway, you can go check that out and read about me writing about gotcha games about mermaids or whatever. And that's all on the main site. You can follow us on Twitter at the GLORIO blog. You can subscribe to our YouTube page, which we do not have a URL because we don't have enough subscribers. Please subscribe, where we post our podcast here, as well as our
my 20-part Let's Play of Minecraft.
The coming soon. Aqua plays Minecraft. It does anime role playing in Minecraft. And then
better than on Twitter.
And then of course our other podcast with Iroh and G, Legend of the GLORIO Heroes, covering the original 1988 OVA Legend of the Galactic Heroes series. Go check that out.
We haven't even recorded the next podcast yet, but let me tell you, folks, I think it's going to be an interesting trio.
Yes, to quote, yes, those were very good episodes. I've managed to catch up on those as well. Yes, and podcast is also available on iTunes, on Podbean, and someday on Google Play when I figure out what the problem is with our WordPress thing. I'm not going to get into that. We're trying, so someday soon. And that's pretty much it. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, and we'll catch everybody next time.
Yo, Lily, hit that big ass ram.
Catch you in the skies, buddy.
All right, I'm stopping it now.